wins the third round.
He will be about to win 7 races in a row. Darren Mercer, the Nutrigrain Ironman champion for the 4th year in a row.
If the day did come around when we did have to race, it would be one of the greatest races around.
He's a freak, and up until he came along, no one had ever beaten me.
The Ironmen, they're surf's glamour guys, and they're heading for one of sport's great grudge matches. Guy Leech and the Mercer brothers are on the show. Together? No way. These blokes don't even talk. And talk of grudges, a 300-kilometre-an-hour feud is developing on the Grand Prix circuit.
Of course, everyone can catch that action live and exclusive here on 9 next weekend.
It's going to be great. But right now, on a busy day of sport, let's find out the winners and losers from our man on the update desk, George Danakian.
You're watching Sports Sunday, and still ahead, the unlikely career choice of one of our Auckland gold medalists.
Hopefully you don't think that this career is going to end this girl, but anyway, we'll sort that out as we go once again to the update desk and George Danakian.
A bit of acrimony. Next weekend, the surfers from the 2 camps compete at the Australian Surf Lifesaving Championships.
Yes, which you'll see here on Wide World of Sports live and exclusively. And among those you'll see in the Ironman contest, what's being billed as the Clash of the Titans, are the Mercer brothers from Thirroul. Karen Pratt spoke to them.
Is it one of the most important races of your career?
I think so. I've sort of set myself a goal, and this weekend is one of them. I've always wanted to win an Australian title, and I think no better place to do it than almost your home beach. Thirroul's my home beach, but North Wollongong, I train here on the skis and that, so I'd really like to win an Australian title here, and hopefully all goes well on the weekend. I should do okay.
Darren Mercer is the undisputed Kellogg's Ironman king, but no longer is that enough. Rival Ironman circuits, the Kellogg's Nutrigrain and the Uncle Toby's, have operated over the last season. The Mercer brothers stayed with the establishment, the Surf Lifesaving Association and Kellogg's, when the rest of the elite performers went with the Uncle Toby's contests. It's been a long time since the 2 factions have done battle.
Because you don't race them, you don't get that experience of being against them, just to feel how they're competing and see how they're going. But fortunately, we had the state titles a couple of weeks ago, and I did pretty well. I was pretty happy. I won the state Ironman, so I was pretty happy with that, especially after not competing against them for so long and everyone saying so much about them and how it was all going to go. So I was really happy with my effort on the weekend.
Darren's clash with Guy Leech provides the most fascination. The scenario to prove who is Australia's champion Ironman. It's been impossible with the circuit split, and next weekend could go some way to settling it.
It is going to be one of the hardest contested Ironman titles that Australia's ever seen, I think. There's going to be a lot of people trying to knock people out earlier in the rounds and things like that, so it's virtually going to be, you know, man on man more or less, and really savage competition.
You see it more like a war between camps?
You could say that, yeah.
While the war is between factions, it's also between brothers. Dean is the defending Australian champion and feels capable of taking the race. Now what about with you and Darren? How much niggle is there between you?
There's a fair bit there, because we're in the same sport, and being brothers, you know, both aiming for the one goal, to win and to do well. You know, there are times where we do get at each other's throat, but it works the opposite. You know, we work together and we can help each other and achieve our goals.
You know, I've got a lot to prove because of a few things that have been said about me, and I've sat back and copped it for a while, and this weekend I think I'm going to prove it that it's all wrong.
You don't like saying anything back?
No, you don't get anything out of that. The only way to do it is prove it.
Well, interestingly enough, Darren Mercer and Guy Leech have never won an Australian title, but Dean Mercer won last year. So it really is going to be a great race.
He looks hungry, though.
They both look very lean.
Yeah. And for more than breakfast cereal, I think. But it'd be interesting with the clash of the Titans, whether, you know, some of the lesser known, perhaps even Dean, you know, being the defending champion, I mean, all the spotlights on the Mercer, you know, Darren against Guy. Be interesting to see if some of the lesser lights can come through and do well too.
Well, I believe there's going to be probably 10 to 15 of them. Any one of them could win.
Yeah, but it's great because, I mean, the public, that's what they've wanted all summer, to see these guys competing against each other and to see it finally happening.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, it will be. And after the break, Guy Leech will be our special guest here in the studio with his thoughts on that matchup. Stay with us for that.
Welcome back. A reminder that next week on Wide World of Sports, all the action from the Australian Surf Lifesaving Championships at Wollongong. And right here on Sports Sunday, live, the event everyone's been waiting for, the first clash of the year between the Mercer brothers and Guy Leech.
Yes, and we've heard the Mercer boys in that interview just a moment ago, sounding confident too. Joining us now, their main rival from that rival circuit, Guy Leech. Welcome, Guy.
Thanks, Mark.
Now, we tried to get the Mercers here, but they had competition commitments today. But even if we could have, you guys won't even talk. You won't get in the same room together. I've heard of rivalry, but how deep does this thing go?
Who told you that one? No, I haven't spoken to Darren since the split, but then I haven't seen him, so it's not as intense, I suppose, as some people make out. But you know, this will be our first time we meet this weekend coming up, so.
And you think that'll be intense, though, won't it?
Yeah, well, they're billing it pretty heavily, and I just saw that Darren looked pretty fit and stuff, so hopefully I'll put in a good performance.
As I said before, you know, you've never won the Australian title, either has Darren. Dean's come up and, I guess, a bit of a fluke last year with Trevor Hendy leading all the way.
Yeah.
You know, who do you honestly think is capable of winning it, and what conditions do you think will suit you personally?
Well, winning it, I would say that Trevor Hendy would have to be warm favourite. He deserved to win last year. He won it the year before that. I've been training with him for 7 weeks now on the Gold Coast with Grant and Dwayne Thias and Craig Whittington. And really, I suppose it just means a bit of luck. To any one person, there's about 8 guys now that can win. The standard's so high that, you know, you're going to have a guy winning that just gets a bit of luck. So, but I would say Trevor on form would have a bit more of a chance than the rest of the guys.
What about this young guy from Newcastle, Guy Andrews?
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah.
He's a tough little bloke. He actually reminds me a bit of Dean. He's pretty courageous, has a pretty big heart. He's only a little bloke, but he's proved this year in the Uncle Toby series that he's one for the future for sure. Mm.
Well, training for 6 weeks up on the Gold Coast. I know my husband's been up there with you.
Yeah.
I mean, have you really been doing serious training? I mean, talking about the mountain bikes going over the cliffs as part of your training.
No,
How serious has it been?
Well, that was a bit of fun. We only did that once, and that was.
But he told me that was training.
Yeah, well, that was stupid actually. It was dangerous, but no, that all served a purpose. It sort of made our legs a little bit stronger, I suppose. And you get sick of doing the same sort of thing all the time. But we've been training 3 times a day, and you know, and I feel that the guys that all been training with us have all got a good chance of winning. And like I said, half a break and you'll be there in first place.
Mm. What about in years to come? You've got ambitions of representing Australian kayaking at the '96 Olympic Games.
Yeah, well, just you know, seeing what Grant did with kayaking and the Ironman, it just you know, it's sort of interesting to sort of think to represent Australia. I'd really like to do that, and I was a swimmer before taking up Ironman, and sort of got out of that because I got bored. But my ski paddling is going pretty well, and maybe in the future I'd like to look at that. Yeah.
Now, Guy, we're seeing some good footage here of you in action, actually, but the surf lifesaving movement, it's a real institution. It's a world first for Australia. It seems a shame to me to see it fragmented by the rivalry in these circuits. Do you think there's a chance it'll all come together under the one banner?
Well, you know, we hope so. It'd be nice to get back together, but it's very hard in that you've got 2 companies that are at each other. It's not just a competition now that's at stake. So, you know, I mean, it was just, we wanted to make a change and make something better for ourselves and for the future coming through, and we feel we've done that. And hopefully, you know, things will keep going along those lines, and whether they get back together, we'll just have to see, I suppose.
Now, you're originally from Manly. You've still got a surf shop there, but
yeah.
Are you a Queenslander forever? Are you going to stay up there in the north of the...
I've got problems here, because if I say I'm a Queenslander,
You've got a surf shop
you
in
might have a go at
Queensland
me. But if I say I'm not, Lisa will belt me. So, no, at the moment I'm up in Queensland, and I actually do an ad for Forex up there, so I suppose I am a Queenslander.
You're not missing...
What do you mean used to?
Sorry?
What do you mean used to?
Used to what?
Do an ad for it.
No, well, this year.
Still do.
Hopefully I'll do another one next year.
You're not missing our nice clean water here in Sydney?
Yeah, that's about the main reason why I left. I was actually down Manly this morning training, and water wasn't too bad, but as soon as those winds come up, you're in real problems, yeah. So you just don't need that.
What about looking ahead again to Wollongong next week? Are you feeling really confident? Because I know you've had a few problems with injuries in the past too. You're feeling pretty fit for next week?
Well, yeah, I've sharpened up, and that's the main thing for me. I'm basically an endurance athlete, and Darren Mercer is the same at that. We are basically unbeaten in endurance races, and to sort of put us against each other over a 10-minute race, I think is a bit harsh, where there's Trevor Hendy and Craig Whittington that are short course specialists. But by the same token, I have been doing a fair bit of work on my sprinting, so I hope to come up with the goods on Sunday.
Now back to the big challenge, Darren Mercer. Tell us a little bit about him. Like, what do you think of him? What do you feel about him?
Well, I've got the utmost respect for him as a competitor. He's just, he's an amazing sort of bloke, and he's proven to me that he's an athlete of world-class standards, and also he's pushed me to the limit in past races, which I would have never reached before. It's just unfortunate this whole thing's happened to sort of spread everyone apart, but that's life, I suppose.
Yeah, he was, I heard on Wide World of Sports yesterday he was accusing you of actually dyeing your hair.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. It's I could sort of dye my hair back to black and have the same coloured hair as him, but unfortunately when you're down the beach the whole time, as you would know, in the surf 5 hours a day, 7 days a week, it doesn't go any other colour than white. So
yeah.
I think it looks good anyway.
Thanks, Lisa.
All right, Guy, thanks very much for joining us here in the studio, and we'll, of course, be focused on that next week, and good luck down there.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Guy Leech, who, by the way, you can see in an upcoming story on 60 Minutes. The 60 Minutes team have been filming with several of Australia's sporting superstars, trying to find sport's fittest athlete. The result? A couple of weeks down the track. Worth waiting for. And worth waiting for too, a whole host of sports action still ahead on Sports Sunday. Live from Wollongong, and that's continuing on the Sunday edition of Wide World of Sports on Sunday, and of course Sports Sunday, where we'll feature the Clash of the Titans, the Ironman final. That'll be great. Lisa, I hope you've enjoyed the show today.
We've had a great show, great stories.
Yeah, we get better every week.
Yeah, one fact for next weekend, 4,000 competitors. It's the second biggest competition behind the Olympic Games.
Right.
So encourage everyone from Wollongong to go along and have a look.
And we'll be back in familiar surrounds, and we'll both be on the beach.
Yes, great.
All right, and we look forward to seeing you there too. So make sure you join us next weekend. Okay, that's it for Sports Sunday today. Bye for now.